Hi, I'm Argentarius, and welcome to the Menagerie. Today, I'm going to be playing Citizen Sleeper 2, Stewart Vector. Now, I don't know very much about this game. I saw the trailer for it, and I was just entranced. It was apparently very much based on tabletop roleplay games. I love tabletop roleplay. I'm actually in the middle of making a homebrew game as well. Or at least an indie one. Um, so yeah, it's out in space. It's got and that's pretty much what I know about this. So let's go ahead and start. Okay, empty. Tutorials on, recommended. All right, looks like we have 3 different difficulty levels. I'm going to try the intended difficulty first. If that becomes an issue, I'll change it later. Or, oh, it's. I have not played the first game, so I don't know what to expect. Operator. That's what this person is. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones and remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Ooh. Okay. Reboot. Crew stress to reroll action dice. It's a little tricky to know what to expect before you play. But I guess what I can do is I can go by feel and see general kind of play style, what I want to try. Extractor built to work at the coal phase of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Interesting. High level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Oh, okay. So, this is what the graph is telling me. Side. My headphones want to take off my ears. Okay, extractor. So, someone with high endurance. Someone with low endurance, but very high interface. Mechanist or machinist. Built to repair and modify automated systems used. Okay, I'm looking at the skill tree over here in comparison. So this one has high engineering. Machinist, very skilled engineers, but their isolated works means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Oh, so I was thinking engage would be for like combat, but it could also be social engagement, maybe? Interesting. Okay, so what do I want to play? Huh. So an operator is not a really good engineer. Extractors. Huh. I have a feeling that engage is going to be something I want to engage with, as well as intuition. I'm just not sure about like interface versus engineering. So, well, or I could just play a brute. I'll go with this one. I really like the symbol that they have here in the corner, and I think that's how they do their sort of dice roll faces as well. Okay. In the moment before waking, dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Unknown, a vast and darkened. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then is context, the breeze of air filtration, soft contact of your birth, 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body. This sounds like some sort of guided meditation. Coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycle, fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives: fear. It is scrambled, panic fear. The drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong, something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear. An act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Oof. Sleeper, a familiar name. A mind copied, emulated. A body built, implanted. One person, sleeping until their debt worked away. Yikes. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. What? That's very grim. I mean, I often wish I could clone myself so I can get more done. But I would not wish for my other half to be worked to death. But you escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators. Ah, okay. Yay, we escaped. Escaped the corporations. Essential ARP, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Good thing to remember. Ooh, and we get to see the space a little bit. Oh, okay. Can't necessarily change the view. Oh. Pale eyes in a pale face. Lane. The name comes from its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt the sharps, but this ends. Ooh. It looks like he's, or they are cybernetic as well. They got tattoos. That's really cool. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal, floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you purpose. Yikes. You try to look away, but to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters. This object you know, and have known for a long time, stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. Oof. Alright. So, looks like we've been used by corporations, and we exist in a body that requires constant maintenance. That sounds familiar. Oh gosh. Let's see. Your emulated mind from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. But it would be wasted on you after what you have done, body of you. He looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body. As they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. Oh, I just noticed, underneath Lane's name, we get a little hint about their demeanor. Relentless, cruel, and on your trail. Oh, seems like they found me. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It is a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up, Lane. The command, and you hear the sounds of impact, pain from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension, compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you're free. You are just broken. Ooh, this person's manipulative. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard, and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will be armed to move. You have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body. I have my own use for it. But your emulation? You feel one of his hands searching behind you. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Eat. Is this like Matrix rules? Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling. The cable's plugged into your looping and wrapping around your... the cable's plugged into you, looping and wrapping. Then you feel a hand steadying you, pulling cable. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eye. Question. Mysterious savior. Hey! He waves a hand, dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable around your wrist. Sleeper? Help me out here. You blink slowly. You know this person? He leans over you. Feel his hands on the connector. Clicking switches, releasing locks. Come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you are in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals and wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows, looking out on an impossibly bright screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You are wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard to some unknown destination. Ooh. You come to a stop in a dark alley. The one who guided you, pausing to catch his breath, he doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. That's actually one of the problems in space. One of the common issues you'll find is like being able to dissipate heat is actually not very easy to do in space because you don't have air to transfer that heat away in space or some sort of medium. The only thing that you have is radiant heat, which can take a while. Fun fact. What's going on, sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead and it floats away in a form of spheres. Talk to me. Oh, who are you? What was that? Where are we? Let's get to know this person. Who are you? You seem a concerned frown across his face. Don't mess with me, sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? Eyes. Waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city, growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by... Open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, didn't know it was there. He sighed. And me? Who am I? You see something fear in his eyes, panic perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He is speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process. He listed, stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. Dark side, sprawling urban station. As you are led through the passages and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of the dark side feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages cycle by cycle. I'm guessing cycle means year, or is it day? Yeah, cycle is a common sci-fi terminology that's roughly equivalent to either day or period. Which one they? The rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that thin lane. Those pale eyes offering you a glittering vial, stabilize. The promise of supplying more of your work. A deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you. But in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, fear. You were Lane's prisoner. Plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig, he nods towards the dock, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it. One covered in ornate tattoos. Oh. Are the tattooed people the people we need to watch out for? Because I noticed this person doesn't have tattoos. Huh. Oh, we'll see. We'll see if it's a pattern. Alright, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Kind of like facial piercing. Utsubo, Lane's guy. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye. He is playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. Places his hand on his chest. I'm Seraphin, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane? He was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. Oh, the description changed to troubled, stubborn, and on the run. We need to reboot you, to break your dependence on stabilize. Awesome. You know what that is, right? You nod me. But Lane interrupted me back there. Reboot didn't complete. He makes it. We can still make this work. Back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. What's the rig? I might need a little more help. Seraphin looks annoyed. Our ship, or at least it soon will be. Oh, are we taking it? Commandeering? Lane assigned it to us when we were on jobs for him. Oh, okay. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you. I know you can do this. Seraphin kicks off hard and glides into the dock. Over here. Not so nice people, he bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. Alright. Ooh, okay. So here's where our skills start coming into play. Tutorial. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks. where you can perform certain actions using your skills, like the dice action you will encounter later. Skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely to succeed on the check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide section. Cosmic. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So I noticed that my character did not have very good engineering skills. So, similar to me, all software, no hardware, or at least very little. And it looks like I get a 50% neutral outcome versus a 50% negative outcome. And then interface, I can hack the door. That's the one that has a positive. So I'll take that one. What was that? You shift to the control panel, trying to understand the readout. The door is on emergency lockdown. Somewhere you hear someone more shouting. Your fingers hover over the keys. You switch to the administration layer and begin flooding the door operating system with spoof requests, desperately hammering the controls. The control OS crashes and the door shutters halfway open before failing. Ooh, go! Seraphin flies past you through the door into the docking tunnel. Nice. Looks like we got it. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphin. Seraphin is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open and you both rush inside. Quickly, Seraphin grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit. The ship's layout, hazy, mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to him. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphin slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Ooh. If you're used to 0G, artificial gravity of being accelerating. Probably the closest you see or you have to gravity for a bit, you know? Might be a little disorienting sometimes. Who knows? I do wonder, what it would be like for people living long-term out in space. And it seems like in these stations you don't have gravity, so people adapt. I guess that's why maybe you have the artificial bodies. Very curious about this world. Alright, we're at the rig, which is our ship. Your refuge in the belt. Like in The Expanse. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphin burned hard out of Darkside, and you dropped in out of consciousness. Oh yeah. A lot of times, like acceleration, G-forces can be a bit harsh on your body. Perhaps another reason to have an artificial body. The dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. Now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphin breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. Problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, closing his eyes. Sigh. I'm gonna say something. We certainly did. He turns, see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. Have you said this exact same thing to him before in this same situation? You okay? And he looks at you, doing up one side of his lip, searching your face. Not really. Puffs. Aw. Seraphin reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. Watch. A little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, just another thing you've forgotten. Plunk runs through the walls of the ship, followed by a short, percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphin kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands finds the rails on either side of the door, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit, cold cyan. We need a plan. Glances. Lane's not going to let us slip away quite quietly. Sigh. We need to talk. Seraphin furrows his brow. Not now, sir. We need to forget. Flinches. The words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than. He pauses again. Sure. Us. He sighs. We need to survive this thing first. Then maybe we talk. Need to forget. And he flinches. Suffering from flashback. Fine by me. Cool with that? Seraphin nods, but the tension remains. Aw, I didn't mean to set some memory off. We have bought ourselves some time. He glances out the window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do, and there are plenty of opportunities here for us. If we can keep our heads turns back to the corridor, that's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides toward the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand, 0-G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. Slaps a hand against the insides, so we need to refuel. That's goal number 1. And we won't be cheap. Or the fuel won't be cheap. You're telling me. But if you and I know one thing, Sleep, it's how to work. Well, seems like using our labor is how we got into this. So we'll get ourselves out. But we'll own our labor, or the fruits of our labor, this time, hopefully. I'm going to get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connection. People that might throw us an easy contact. You, he glances back over his shoulder, you keep out of trouble. Low profile, got it. Seraphin stops at the airlock. Stopping the reboot halfway through, old worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what that does. He jams an arm into it. I don't want you passing out it. Stops. Huh. I'll be fine. Seraphin drops his head, swearing to himself. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? And you take it and slip it on. Alright, thank you. Seraphin nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open, and Seraphin glides through. Wait for a little, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, I suppose that is one way that you can more easily be identified for these people. This general description. They're usually lumped together, something like that. Huh. Interesting. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again. This is not a good idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat? Oh, so we still, okay, we can still feel G-forces, and we still need to eat. Interesting. Suddenly you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. I wonder what kind of relationship we had. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectile. When you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo chits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more fuel and supplies, he grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of them. Seraphin kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, alright? Shouts. Take it slow. And with that, he is gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. You wait for a moment inside. Ooh. Think about Seraphin. Think about Lane. Plan. Make a plan. Sounds like what we need, right? You try to think ahead of what might be coming. You'll need work. That's the first step. But what then? Lane will be coming eventually. The sooner you can put some distance between you and Hexport, the better. So that's the plan. Rest, resupply, and run. Okay, I kind of knew that already. Now I kind of wish I had chosen maybe some of the other options. Maybe? You shake the thoughts from your head. Hold the jet tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. Okay. Whoa, tutorial. Alright, welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2. Ooh, that was quite a bit of an intro, wasn't it? The game runs in cycles, during which you can perform actions with your dice. Use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks towards new scenes and events. Oh, I see the saving thing. Corner there. That's good. You can review tutorials at any time in the guide section. Cosmic. Huh. Controls. Select locations with the pad and A. Roll the station with all or the left stick and rotate the right stick. Let's oh, it's X everything. Turn. Cool. Okay. Dock. Busy way station dock. Goods exchange. And that's about it. Rig. Okay. This. Oh, looks like I can change the difficulty. Okay. So I'm going to pause it here for now. That was quite an intro. We stepped in, we woke up not knowing where we were, suddenly rescued by Seraphin. So far, I'm enjoying this game. I'm very curious to see what happens next. What do you think so far? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked it, please press the like button. And if you want to see more and catch the next episode, please subscribe.